the Catholic Men's Podcast, helping you find good works of literature for the Catholic gentleman. The Conversion of Saint Bruno, taken from the book Hell, If There Is One, What Is It, and How to Avoid It, written by Monsignor Louis-Gaston de Ségur in 1876. As I was thinking about this story tonight, I looked out the window and saw this beautiful moon, and I thought that would be perfect for this story. So I have from the time it takes for the moon to go from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. In the life of Saint Bruno, founder of the Carthusians, there's a story which has been studied very thoroughly by the very doctors of the Church, and which presents itself to the most formal criticism of all the historical characters of authenticity. An event that occurred in Paris in the middle of the day, in the presence of many thousands of witnesses, whose details have been collected by its contemporaries, and which has given rise to a great religious order. A famous doctor from the University of Paris named Raymond Diocres had just died, leaving universal admiration among all his students. The year was 1082. One of the wisest doctors of that time, known throughout Europe for his science, his talent, and his virtues, named Bruno, was then in Paris with 4 companions, and it became a duty to attend the funeral of the illustrious deceased. The body had been laid in the great hall of the Chancellery, near the Church of Our Lady, and an immense crowd respectfully surrounded the bed, in which, as is the custom of that time, was exposed, the deceased covered with a full-face veil. At the moment when one of the lessons of the office of the deceased was read, which starts like this, "Answer me, how many are my iniquities and sins? Make me know my crimes and offenses." From under the funeral veil a sepulchral voice came, and all the contestants hear these words, "By the righteous judgment of God I have been accused." They rush in, lift the death cloth. The poor deceased was there motionless, frozen, completely dead. The ceremony then continued, leaving everyone terrified and full of fear. The office starts again. On arriving at the mentioned lesson, "Answer me," in front of the whole world the dead man rose, and with a robust and emphatic voice said, "By the righteous judgment of God I have been judged." And then he laid down again. Terror in the auditorium reached its peak. 2 doctors analyzed the body and confirmed that he was dead. The corpse was cold, stiff. The bishop had no courage to continue, and the office was postponed till the next day. The church authorities didn't know how to explain this experience. Some were saying, "He is a condemned man. He is unworthy of the prayers of the church." Others were saying, "No, all this is certainly terrible, but at the end, shall we all not be accused first and then judged by the righteous judgment of God?" The bishop was of this thought, and the next day at the same time he started the funeral ceremony again, being present, as on the eve, were also Bruno and his companions. The whole university, all of Paris, had attended the Church of Our Lady. So back to starting the office, to the same lesson, "Answer me." At this verse, Raymond's body rises from his coffin, and with an indescribable voice that scares all present exclaims, "By the righteous judgment of God I have been condemned." And he fell still again. Well, this time there was no doubt. By order of the bishop and the chapter, he stripped the corpse of the badges of his dignities, and the body was taken to the dunghill of Montfaucon. Truly, here is a condemned man who came back from hell not to come out of it, but to bear irrefutable testimony to it. Leaving the great hall of the Chancellery, Bruno, who would then be about 45 years old, decided irrevocably to leave the world, and went with his companions to seek in the solitude of the great Charterhouse near Grenoble a retreat where he could ensure his salvation, and thus prepare slowly for the just judgments of God, and that would set him on the path to become the great Saint Bruno, founder of the Carthusians. Thank you all so much for listening. God bless you, and Our Lady keep you.